It was past midnight when Emily slid the oversized ASMR headphones over her ears, the familiar cushion pressing against her temples. The world outside her window was silent, the only sound the soft rustle of leaves in the wind. She had done this countless nights before, tapping, whispering, gentle crinkles guiding her to sleep, but tonight felt different. There was a tension in the air she couldn't shake, an almost electric anticipation that made her stomach twist. As she pressed play on the ASMR video, the gentle sounds of paper folding and soft whispers filled her ears, comforting yet strangely intimate. Emily leaned back against her pillows, trying to calm her racing heart. The soft voice, usually soothing, seemed almost aware. It murmured words she had never heard before, like a story only she could understand. Her eyes flicked to the dark corners of her room, half expecting shadows to move in time with the whispering. Minutes passed, each second stretching longer than the last. And then it happened. The whisper changed tone, a subtle shift that sent chills down her spine. It spoke her name, not the username she used online, not the generic greeting of the ASMR creator, but her real name. Emily froze, her hands gripping the sides of her bed. The voice continued, soft, almost tender, yet chilling. "You're next." She ripped off the headphones, her breathing uneven, heart pounding. The room was still, nothing but the faint glow of her laptop screen illuminating her tense features. Was it a glitch? A prank? Someone had to be behind it. Her curiosity warred with fear, pulling her back to the video, her fingers trembling as she hovered over the play button again. Outside, the wind whispered against the window pane, carrying with it an unsettling suggestion that the voice wasn't just from the video, that it was here, in the room with her. Emily's mind raced. Who? Or what? Knew she was next. And next for what? Every instinct screamed to run, to get out, yet some unseen force kept her rooted to the bed, waiting for the next whisper, the next hint, the next terror. And then she heard it again, softer this time, almost a sigh behind her. "Don't move." Her eyes darted to the closet, the corners of the room. The tension hung thick, the answer nowhere in sight. Emily's hands shook as she pressed the laptop closed, the echo of the whisper still lingering in her ears. She had always loved ASMR. Its soft, comforting sounds had been her escape from a world that often felt too loud and overwhelming. For years, she had used it to calm her anxiety, to drift off into a peaceful sleep. But tonight, the line between comfort and fear had blurred, leaving her in a trembling, wide-eyed haze. She remembered the first time she had encountered the channel, a small, unassuming account recommended by an algorithm late one sleepless night. Its videos were different from the polished, professional ASMR she usually watched. There was an intimacy to them, a personal touch, like the creator was whispering secrets meant for her alone. At first, it had been fascinating, almost magical. But over the past few weeks, the videos had become strange. Names, dates, subtle references that made her pause and wonder if the creator knew her. At first, she had laughed it off, assuming it was coincidence. But tonight, with a whisper telling her she was next, Emily could no longer ignore the possibility. Her phone buzzed on the bedside table, a text from an unknown number. "I see you. You shouldn't be here." Panic surged through her veins. She had never shared her real name online, never posted about the channel, never left any digital trace that could explain this intrusion. And yet, someone or something knew. The tension coiled tight in her chest, making it hard to breathe. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the curtains, made her heart jump as if the room itself were alive. Emily tried to recall her past, searching for a connection that might explain the strange events. She had always been cautious, private, and careful. She had friends, yes, but no one who would orchestrate something like this. No enemies. Nothing to explain the creeping dread that had wrapped itself around her life over the past weeks. She sank to the floor, wrapping her arms around her knees. Her mind raced with questions. What did the whisper mean by next? Was it a warning, a threat, or something far worse she couldn't even imagine? Could it be a prank, Or was it truly supernatural? Something beyond explanation? The line between reality and fear blurred further with each heartbeat, making her question every sound, every shadow in the room. Emily's gaze fell on the closet door, slightly ajar, its darkness deeper than the rest of the room. She knew she shouldn't look, yet she couldn't turn away. The laptop's soft glow reflected in her wide eyes, her body frozen, every nerve screaming. Somewhere between curiosity and terror, she realized that the answer, if there was one, was waiting for her, but approaching it might be the most dangerous thing she could do. And then, faint as a breath, she heard it again, closer. The room seemed to shrink around her, and she knew this was only the beginning. Emily couldn't move. Every fiber of her being screamed to flee, yet curiosity anchored her to the cold wooden floor. Her eyes stayed fixed on the closet door, half expecting it to move on its own. The soft hum of her laptop, the only source of light in the room, throbbed in rhythm with her pulse. She realized, with a shiver, that the whisper hadn't come from the laptop at all. It had come from the headphones. She hadn't even pressed play. Her phone buzzed again. This time, a different text appeared. "You can't hide. He's watching too." Emily's mind raced. Who was he? She thought back to her older brother, someone she loved dearly, but who had been distant lately. Could he have been part of some cruel prank? No, the texts and whispers were too specific, too targeted. Her heart sank as she wondered if the danger wasn't human at all, if the ASMR itself was some conduit for something unearthly. Torn between fear and a strange sense of responsibility, Emily decided to dig deeper. She began researching the channel, tracing the username back through obscure social media accounts and old forums. Every step she took seemed to raise more questions than answers. There were mentions of the whisper, always in hushed, cryptic tones, like urban legends whispered in back alleys. Some accounts claimed victims had disappeared, leaving only headphones behind, still echoing the last words they had heard. A moral dilemma gnawed at her. Should she confront the channel directly, risking herself further, or shut everything down and pretend it never happened? And if she did confront it, how could she ensure no one else would be next? The fear of being complicit in her own demise weighed heavily, making her question her decisions, her courage, and even her sanity. Meanwhile, strange coincidences began piling up. Objects in her room moved subtly when she wasn't looking. A book slightly off the shelf, the closet door inching open and closed, a chair nudged across the floor. Every sound seemed amplified. The tick of the clock, the hum of the laptop, the faint rustle of curtains. Emily couldn't tell which noises were real and which were echoes of her imagination. Fueled by the whisper she couldn't forget. Her mind flashed back to her childhood fears, the stories her grandmother used to tell about shadows that whispered warnings. Could this be connected somehow? A lesson from the past, or a premonition she had ignored? Every memory twisted into a potential clue, every feeling of déjà vu heightening her paranoia. And then the whisper came again, soft but urgent. "He's closer than you think." Emily froze. A new layer of terror had emerged, one that she couldn't control or escape. The room felt alive, each shadow a threat, each sound a warning. The subplots of her own past, her family, and the mysterious channel had begun to intertwine, creating a web that threatened to ensnare her completely. Emily's breath came in short, shallow bursts. Every sound in the room felt amplified. The hum of her laptop, the whisper of the curtains, even the faint creak of the floor beneath her. The ASMR headphones rested on the bed, a silent invitation to danger. She knew if she put them back on, the whisper would return, and she also knew she might never take them off. Her phone buzzed again, this time with a video link. Hands trembling, she tapped it open. The video was live, showing her own room in real time. Every detail mirrored reality perfectly. The tilted lamp, the blanket draped over the chair, the closet door slightly open. And then she saw it, a shadow moving just beyond the doorframe. Not hers, not human, at least not entirely. Emily's mind raced. Could she call someone? Her brother? The police? But the thought of exposing herself, of giving away her location made her hesitate. Every second she waited, the whisper's presence felt stronger, more invasive. "You're next." The words weren't just in her headphones anymore. They seemed to crawl along her skin, echo in her bones, invade her thoughts. Her eyes darted to the closet. She had to know, had to see if the shadow was real or if fear had finally claimed her sanity. Slowly, inch by inch, she moved toward the door. Her pulse thundered in her ears. Each step was a battle between courage and the terror clawing at her chest. A subtle metallic scent filled the air, cold, sharp. It made her stomach twist. Suddenly, her laptop pinged again. Another message. "Closer. Don't turn around." Emily froze mid-step. Her body tensed. Every instinct screamed to stop, yet her curiosity pushed her forward. The room seemed to shrink around her, shadows growing longer, darker. Every corner threatened to hide something malevolent, something waiting for her mistake. Her mind flashed back to the early videos, the odd little gestures, the faint hand movements behind the camera, the whisper that seemed to watch. Had she ignored warning signs? Was this all her fault for getting too close, for letting herself believe it was just harmless ASMR? A loud thud echoed from the closet. Emily's heart skipped. She could see the door quiver slightly. Then a second, faster thud like something pacing inside. She wanted to scream, to run, but her legs refused to move. Then, softer than ever, the whisper came. Not through the headphones, not from the video, from the darkness itself. "You should have left." Emily's fingers grazed the doorknob. Time seemed to slow. She knew this was the point of no return. Whatever waited behind that door, whatever secret was about to be revealed, she would face it alone. And yet, a horrifying sense of inevitability gripped her. She was exactly where she was meant to be. Emily's hand froze on the doorknob. The whisper wasn't just a voice. It was inside her head. Her mind reeled as fragmented memories flashed. The late-night ASMR videos, the subtle warnings hidden in the whispers, the strange coincidences she had brushed off. And then it hit her. Her best friend, Jenna, had sent her the first set of videos. Jenna knew. Her phone buzzed again. A video call this time. She hesitated, knowing the truth it might reveal. The screen flickered to life, and there was Jenna, smiling, unnervingly calm. "You didn't think it was just the videos, did you?" she whispered. The words weren't kind. The friendly tone was gone, replaced by a chilling certainty. "You're part of it now. There's no leaving." Emily stumbled back, her mind spinning. Betrayal burned hotter than fear. How could Jenna, her closest confidant, be behind this? And why? The whisper in her headphones returned, but now it wasn't threatening. More like an observer confirming Jenna's manipulation. "She's next. You're next." The live video on her laptop flickered again. Emily's own image stared back, but something was different. Her reflection wasn't mimicking her. It moved independently. Her reflection smiled, showing a darkness Emily didn't recognize. Her heart raced. The room seemed to warp around her, objects subtly shifting, almost breathing. Every shadow felt sentient. Then, Jenna's voice came from the reflection. "Did you think I would let you uncover the truth so easily?" The reflection pointed toward the closet, which now appeared impossibly deep, stretching beyond the laws of the room. Emily felt herself being pulled toward it, both physically and mentally. Panic surged, but the curiosity she had always cherished, the need to understand the whispers, kept her rooted. Suddenly, a loud crash from the closet made her spin around. It was empty. Or was it? The whisper intensified, echoing through the room. "The choice isn't yours anymore." Emily's phone fell from her trembling hands, landing screen down, its glowing messages extinguished. Darkness crept along the edges of the room, swallowing corners, twisting reality. Emily realized the nightmare wasn't just the videos or the whispers. It was the people she trusted, the things she believed were harmless. Her entire world had become a labyrinth of deceit, horror, and inevitability. Every decision she had made, every late-night ASMR session, every whisper she thought was comforting, it had led her here. And at that moment, she knew the whisper had never been just a warning. It had been a guide, and now there was no turning back. Whatever waited in the shadows, or in herself, was coming. Emily's heart thundered as the shadows around her thickened, consuming the corners of the room like smoke. She backed toward the closet, the warped space seemingly pulsating with life. The whisper in her headphones now shouted in her mind, "Face it, only then will it stop." She swallowed her fear and stepped forward, her hand brushing the edge of the closet door. Inside, the space had no bottom, no end. Instead, it was filled with fragmented ASMR videos floating like eerie holograms. Each video showed a moment of her life, laughing with friends, late-night journaling, even the first time she had worn those headphones. And in every clip, there was a shadowy figure lurking, always just out of focus. Jenna's voice came again, calm yet terrifying. "You've always known, haven't you?" The whispers, they weren't just for fun. Emily's reflection in the laptop flickered violently, morphing into a version of herself that grinned with malice. Panic surged, but she remembered something. The whisper hadn't lied yet. It had been guiding her. Taking a deep breath, Emily spoke aloud, "I'm not afraid of you." The closet space quaked, and the shadows recoiled as if wounded. The laptop reflection froze, then shattered into static, revealing Jenna standing in the doorway. Her eyes hollow, an unnatural smile curling across her face. "You can't stop it," she hissed, reaching out. Emily braced herself, and in a desperate move, grabbed the nearest floating video, holding it up. The image of herself staring back seemed to scream, and a piercing light burst from it, enveloping the room. The darkness shrieked and dissipated, pulling Jenna and the malevolent reflection into the void. Emily stumbled, clutching the laptop as the shadows faded. Silence returned, except for her ragged breathing. She looked around. The room was intact, normal, almost mundane again. Yet she could still feel a trace of the whispers, faint and haunting. Shakily, she removed the headphones and placed them on the desk. Her phone buzzed, messages from unknown numbers. Emily froze. One notification glowed. "Did you enjoy the experience?" She tapped the screen, and a video began to play. Her own voice whispered from it, "You shouldn't be here." Emily's eyes widened as the screen went black. A cold realization hit her. Escaping one nightmare didn't mean freedom. Somewhere, somehow, the whispers were still watching, still waiting. And this time, she couldn't be sure if she would ever truly be alone again. Emily sat on her bed the next morning, the first rays of sunlight spilling softly across the room. The headphones were gone, and the laptop screen remained dark, as if the night's horrors had been nothing but a dream. But the lingering sense of unease clung to her, a reminder that some experiences leave marks far deeper than physical scars. She thought about the whispers, about the shadowy figure of Jenna, and even the unsettling reflections in her own videos. It was clear now, the ASMR content she had loved wasn't just a harmless escape. It had been a doorway, one she had inadvertently stepped through. Her hands trembled as she picked up a notebook she had once used to jot ideas for her ASMR videos. The pages were filled with ordinary thoughts, yet she realized that even her creativity could attract forces beyond her understanding if she wasn't careful. Emily took a deep breath and reflected on the lessons of the night. Curiosity, while natural, must be tempered with caution. She understood that fear, while terrifying, was also a teacher. It had forced her to confront herself and her choices. The shadowy presence might have vanished, but Emily knew she had changed. Her perspective on the world, on technology, and on the allure of seemingly innocent experiences had shifted. She realized that sometimes what feels relaxing or entertaining could carry hidden risks, and that awareness and mindfulness were as important as enjoyment. Glancing out the window, Emily saw the quiet street bathed in morning light. Children played, neighbors chatted, and life seemed ordinary again. But in the corner of her vision, a faint shimmer reminded her of the night's events. The whispers were gone, yet their echo lingered in her mind, subtle but unforgettable. She smiled faintly, acknowledging that fear and wonder could coexist, and that every encounter, even a terrifying one, held a lesson worth remembering. As she closed a notebook, Emily spoke aloud, her voice steady. I survived. I learned. I'll be wiser next time. The room was silent, peaceful, yet charged with the energy of what had passed. The story of her midnight ASMR experience would stay with her forever, a cautionary tale for anyone who dared to explore too deeply. And somewhere beyond the boundaries of her room, the faintest whisper could still be heard, almost like a sigh. Be careful what you seek. It may seek you too.